Do you have a Moon-Uranus aspect in your horoscope? Well, then this video is for you. Everyone who has the Moon with Uranus in the same sign or opposition or square, these are the hard aspects which will be really felt. And what does it mean? Well, the Moon is first of all one's emotional needs. What one feels comfortable with and what will one usually attract in their environment. And what is most typical behavior of a person. And Uranus is a very independent planet. These people need independence. You cannot put them in relationships where someone is very jealous or is trying to control them. And they would rebel against such behavior. They do not like to be hemmed in emotionally or pressed by the wall. They do not like to be told what to do because they will go and do just the opposite. I have this position as well. And usually it stems from their childhood almost, from one of the parental figures, usually the mother. But sometimes it can be the father, because nowadays the roles are interchanged, because the Moon usually shows the mother, but sometimes the father nowadays can play this nurturing role in early childhood. So this child would usually have rebelled against parents, or the parent might have been quite erratic, or the childhood might have been quite disruptive, like with a lot of movement, moving around, or one of the parents missing often, or being somehow detached and distant, or being somehow unconventional in some way. So these people are quite used to being in such more disruptive environment, in more changeability, with more with constant changing and excitability around them. So when they grow up as well, they would be attracted to, and they would naturally veer towards such circumstances. So often they might change their place of living very often. They can also disconnect from family, because the Moon rules the family and connections to the past. So they would often have the need to purge and to break the contact with the past, whether it's with their family by moving to live away, or starting to live in a way which is much more different and shocking than the traditional familiar system that they were brought up in, or they might, if they feel emotionally unhappy or threatened, they can just move away to live in a different place, or they can just withdraw themselves. So often you feel these people being quite detached emotionally. When things become unhappy for them, they can cut you off emotionally. And the partner, if you have a partner with Moon-Uranus combination in their horoscope, you have to be very careful, because these people are very sensitive. Uranus sensitizes the feelings which are the Moon strongly, and the person feels in great, it's like a naked nerve almost. And because of this, because these people are so sensitive, they learn to cut off from the emotions and to distance themselves from those emotions. And that's why they can close off sometimes, or leave, or just become silent and quiet. And this can be very disruptive, this can be upsetting for the partner. So you need to give them space. You need not to press them emotionally for them to, to start feeling a bit better, till they feel a bit better. But they usually tend to be very emotionally honest and open people, because Uranus is the planet of truth. And when it's with in an aspect with the planet of emotions, such a person can shock you with being open up. They can tell you secrets from their life. They can tell you something which is very private, and this emotional honesty is very attractive for a lot of people, and because of that they create a lot of friends. For them, their family is much more their circle of friends than their real family with blood connections. For them, their place of home that they call home might not be the place where they were born, but any place where they connect in an intellectual, mental level with others. Because Uranus is the planet of, it's very universal, humanitarian planet, and they would feel close to those and it's very intellectual and kind of a intellectual planet. It's more planet of ideas. So such people will feel emotionally close and attached, emotionally attached more to to people with like-minded ideas. That's why they're great for friendships with people who are, or they'll feel at home anywhere in the world almost. So often such people would live far away from their place of origin. Often they can thrive better in foreign countries as well, or environments which are different than what they were brought up with. And such people are going to be very excitable. It's going to be very hard for them also to put roots. Even when they want to put roots and they try to make it for a while, if the environment is too traditional, if it's too boring, if there is nothing excitable and changeable happening in the relationship or in the environment they're in, they would often just move away from them, disconnect and cut off, because they need this constant stimulation. But it can be a bit disruptive living with such a person. You either give them space and let them do what they want, or you can lose them, you know. So emotional honesty is one of their great strengths. A lot of changeability they need in their daily life. Day to day is particularly, and you'll note it is particularly for women who have this aspect, because the moon is much more manifested into the horoscopes of females. So they'll be often quite very different as well from others. Their lifestyle can be different. Their home and relationships can be very different and unusual as well, and a bit disruptive. As I said, their jobs, 9 to 5, is something that they'll feel a bit restless in. Also, they can... let's see what else. The Uranus is the planet of uniqueness, and Uranus wants us to find our own truth and to find our own individuality. So such people would often be drawn to very different, excitable, unusual things and people and events through which they learn to develop their individuality themselves. So they themselves become very unique and unusual and standard people. And the moon is also intuition, and when it's with Uranus, Uranus is higher wisdom. So such people can be extremely perceptive. They can get like inspirations, and they can get like sudden awareness in a flash of lightnings when Uranus is with the moon. So they can be extremely creative as well and sparkly. Their aura it's like almost there sparkles around them, you know, when you see such a person. They're excitable, changeable, difficult to put roots down even when they try, and they also even when they become parents, because the moon will show how they're like parents in their maternal nurturing roles, they can give a lot of freedom to their children, and they can also, some of them even might decide not to have children, so because they value their independence so much. Or if they become a parent, they become more unusual, more kind of a unconventional parent who tries new approaches to parenting as well. Let's see what else. I think we mentioned most of the things. So constant change is needed, don't hem them, give them more independence. And also Uranus is the circulation. When it's with the moon, these people, especially the difficult aspects, they can have problems with the circulation, and their nervous system is very sensitive. Again, as I said, this makes you like a naked nerve when Uranus is with the moon, and they're very perceptive. So often this combination of Uranus moon, especially the difficult aspects, is found in horoscopes who have addictions or who like to, you know, to drink, because this is how they, in the wrong way, they try to smooth their feelings, because their feelings are so changeable. One moment they feel like this, the other like that. Uranus is the planet of changes, moon is how you feel, so you feel like a roller coaster often emotionally. And I have that, so, you know, one moment I'm happy, one I'm sad, I love you, I don't love you, I want you, I don't want you. You can notice this with those people a lot. Okay, so I think that's for Moon Uranus people, for Moon Uranus aspects. You can write to me, say if you agree or no. And another thing I wanted to mention, Uranus Moon people often have interest for the occult or for spiritual and highly intellectual and mental stimulation. And usually they will, in spiritual astrology, it's been seen that people with aspects, close aspect between Uranus and Moon, have in previous lifetime been involved with occult, with mystery schools. They have been maybe an apprentice to such spiritual teaching, and especially the good aspects, which is the trine and the sextile, they flow very easily into that, while the more difficult aspects, it's a bit more disruptive there, and they accept changes whenever they desire a change. It's a bit more disruptive in their lifetime and in their life, and disruptive for the people around them. Thank you.